Hi y'all, good morning. If you come and fishing with me today, get ready to have some fun because we're going to catch a bunch of fish this morning. Probably going to get a variety of species too, and we're going to test a couple different baits. Let me show you what I've got here. So first off, we've got the original fishing lure, the red worm. The tried and true proven worm, catches literally everything. But also down here, I've got a jar of Gulp fat floating trout worms. One of my channel members sent me that jar of the Gulp worms, told me to try them out. I love the Gulp minnow when I'm ultralight fishing. It's my favorite ultralight lure. My regular viewers, you've seen me catch thousands upon thousands of fish with the Gulp minnow. But my channel member, Daniel, he said, try these out, rig them on the same jig head, work them like a Ned rig, if you will. He said, you'll tear the fish up. So we're gonna try it out here today, folks. I'm gonna start out with the regular, original, tried and true, proven red worms. We're gonna take a section of the shoreline, go down through here and catch some fish. Then we're gonna switch over to the Gulp worms and see how it compares. Same body of water, same time of day, same conditions, everything's the same. We'll put them side by side essentially and see how they compare to each other. So let me show you the rig and tackle and all that, and we're gonna get right to it. I'm kind of starting here at the base of this bluff wall, and we're gonna work down the shoreline. I just put us a red worm on here before I started the camera, but you can hopefully see it there. The lighting ain't very good on the side of this cliff wall, but I just run that hook through the worm a couple times. That's a number 8 size hook, and it's a 1/64 ounce size jig head. I've got 2-pound test line. My rod here is a St. Croix Panfish Series rod. It's 6 foot long, of course, ultralight action. And I've got a Daiwa 1000 size reel. And we're just gonna take a section of shoreline through here and make some casts. And I'm gonna just let this worm sink down. I've already got, I think something bumped me right then. Oh, I had one right then, by gosh. I think we just got robbed. Lord Almighty, first cast, we've already got a bite and we've been robbed. Let's see if we can do better on the next one. I'm gonna need y'all to be ready to set the hook when the next one bites. I wasn't prepared. I'm still trying to tell you, I didn't rip that one. Let me try to hook him better there. I didn't botch the first one here, folks. I was trying to say, we're just gonna take a stretch of this shoreline. I'm gonna make some casts. We'll let this worm just sink down various trees, limbs that have fallen off, of course, overhanging branches and stuff we'll throw up under. And we'll see what all we get today. We'll definitely catch a bunch of bluegill, and there are some big ones in here. Probably some bass, largemouth, smallmouth, certainly options. If we see any surface activity, possibly white bass or skipjack, we'll make some throws at those as well. I did when I launched, I put in at this park over here on the other side of the channel, and I saw something chasing shad along the shoreline over there. I'm not 100% certain what it was. It wasn't skipjack. I didn't see them coming out of the water like skipjack do, but it was probably either largemouth or white bass. Either way, they're all fun to catch on the ultralight, and I'd like to get a variety today. I'm in the mood to catch a bunch of fish today. That's what I want to do. So when I want to catch a bunch of fish, this is what I do, folks. I bust out the ultralight, usually either my Gulp minnows or some worms. And today I got to, oh, something was tapping me. I got that jar of Gulp worms there from my channel member, and I was like, you know, it's a good opportunity to try them things out. If we can stay out of the trees, Lord Almighty. We're in bad shape getting around the trees now. Now we got our line wrapped up. Look at this mess. I fired that thing back at us. Look what I've done. What have y'all done here? Got it wrapped around the reel. I can't take y'all anywhere, you know it. What the hell have I done for real? What have I done? What a way to start the show, man. Got a damn mess here going on, folks. A mess, I tell you. I fired that thing back at us. What do we do? I think I must have been reeling or something, and it just... Good golly, what a way to start out the show, man. We got it under control now, thank goodness, but now we've blown up on the bank over here. What a way to start it out, man. Y'all. I probably lost the worm too when I got in the tree. No, the worm's still on there. How about that? We at least got the worm back. So anyway, what I'm gonna do today, y'all, I'm gonna leave the camera going while we're out here. I'm gonna fish a couple hours. You're gonna see everything, whether it's nonsense like you just witnessed, or actually catching fish if things go right for us. But you're gonna see it all today. This is gonna be just an uncut fishing trip, a real fishing trip. And whatever happens, happens. I'm bringing you all along for the ride, good, bad, whatever. But I'm probably going to fish for probably a couple of hours. I got some stuff I got to do today. I want to go net some shad when I'm done here for tomorrow's catfish trip. And then I got to mow this afternoon. And I need to work on a project in front of my house by the road. I'm pissed off at the county because they ain't properly rocked along the edge of the road, and now I'm getting all kinds of shoreline erosion, like I'm on the river or something, but I'm getting erosion on the side of the road. And it's running off my bank along the fence. It's causing me problems, so I can't get the county to do nothing about it. I'm gonna do it my damn self. But I'm gonna work on that a little bit today. So I got a lot to do today, but in the meantime here this morning, I let it warm up a little bit. The way I could come out in flip-flops. We're here in September, and this time of year, it's in the 50s in the morning and 80 in the afternoon. So if you come out at first light, you need some shoes. If you wait till about 10 o'clock, which it's around 10:30 now, I guess, you can get by with flip-flops. There was something popping the surface right out here. I'm honestly surprised we've made as many casts as we've had and we ain't got the first fish already. I'm impatient, I'll tell you that. I don't like waiting for that first bite. I want to get it right away. When I'm ultralight fishing, man, I'm expecting bites frequently. I hear something busting surface over on the other side of the channel behind us. There was something over there, man. I don't know if it was largemouth or white bass. You can't tell when they're just popping the surface like that. And this time of year, you can get both because they'll be chasing these big schools of threadfin around. There's a fish. Oh, I lost him. Boy, we're in bad shape. We're batting 1,000 to start here, folks. It's going to get better, I promise you. It's going to have to. Y'all going to end up finding a different fishing partner if I don't get it together. There's one. There's just one there, folks. All right, now we're turning the corner here. We're getting it going now. Let me back up a little bit here. I don't want to blow up on them fish. We might have some more of them. Boy, it's a good one too. This one right here, man, you talk about a chunk. Look at this thing. I'm gonna put him on our measuring board here. I guarantee you he's over 8 inches. One of y'all want to make a wager with me right now that he ain't over 8 inches? Let's stick him on there and prove myself right. Yeah, man, that one right there. I told you there's some big bluegill in here. This one's, he's just a hair shy of 8.5 inches. Nice, buddy. I will take bluegill like that anytime, anywhere. He left our worm on there too, didn't he? Let's throw right back over there. Nice, man. I love catching bluegill like that. Oh, got another one. I felt him hit it. I was just waiting for the waiting to feel the weight. Another good one. This one here, I don't believe he's quite as big as the last one, but another solid bluegill. I'm telling you, man, you get you a good ultralight combo and find you some bluegill like that, you're in for a time, buddy. They are a underrated fish. People think of bluegill, they think of sitting on a dock with a bobber with your kids. And that's a great way to introduce kids to fishing. Don't get me wrong. Bluegill are, I would say, if you ask 10 people at random what was the first fish you ever caught, probably at least 9 of them's going to say a bluegill. So it's a great way to get people into fishing. But just because they're relatively abundant and easy to catch don't mean that they're not enjoyable. I think one of the big things is people use tackle oftentimes that's too big for them. And I mean, if you're using a broomstick, if you're using a bass rod, there's another one. If you're using a bass rod on a bluegill, you ain't going to get much of a bend in the rod. You're not going to be able to enjoy it. But if you match your tackle, then you're going to have a good time with them. And I have a good time with them, folks. That one there is kind of small. I'm going to switch out this worm. I'll tell you, let's do this right quick. We've got some fish here on the real worm. Let's try out the gulp worm here. Let's throw it over there in that same spot. This is a brand new jar. One of my channel members, his name's Daniel, he mailed me this jar of gulp worms. And so I'm curious to try them out. I honestly didn't even know that these existed. I'm a big fan of those gulp minnows, and I've used various sizes of gulp minnows. I'm going to just thread this thing. I'm going to thread it on like that and see how it does this. Let me show you that before I cast it out, how I've got it. I just thread it on like so. Let's throw it over there and see what happens. It's a little heavier. You can cast it pretty easy. It's got some weight to it. They're definitely heavier than the 1-inch gulp, but I mean, they're longer too, so. They look just like I mean, the color, they look like a little piece of night crawler, a little red worm. They're worth a shot for sure. Something about that gulp juice, man. I swear it makes a difference. The scent of it or the taste of it, whatever it is fish get from it. Because I've used that, I had one. I've used that gulp minnow and caught all kinds of fish. And I've tried similar plastics that look the same, but don't have the gulp scent. And it's a difference, honestly. You can tell the difference in your catches. I can anyway. Now, those other plastics, maybe they work better if you're actively retrieving them. But with the gulp minnow specifically, I mostly just cast them out and let them sink. And as they fall down through the water column, that's when you usually get bit. It's a very simple lure to fish, and I'm curious with this gulp worm if it's going to end up being the same way, if you're going to catch a bunch of fish on the fall, or if I'm going to have to kind of work it back like you would a worm. You know, if you were bass fishing a worm. I'm apparently going to get snagged in a tree is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get snagged in a tree. Well, any fish that were still over here, I'm about to spook them off when I go get this thing. If I can get it. I may not be able to get it. Wouldn't that be something? Y'all see me break off here first thing. Well, hell, we got it all right. We got us a bonus catch right here, y'all. Look at this. This might be the biggest thing we catch all day. Got a stickfish. Weighs about tree 50. You never know what you're going to, man, I'll tell you, you throwing a worm, whether it's real or fake, you never know what you're going to catch. It could be a real life, breathing, swimming fish, or it could be a 100-pound log. You never know. I know you throw enough hooks out here along the shoreline, you're going to hook something, whether it's something you're trying to hook or not. We're going to just take a stretch of shoreline today. We're just beating the banks, man. We're just out here just trying to put our baits in front of some fish, and whatever happens, happens. I like fishing through here in this area. I don't do it very often. I think I might have come here in the spring, but if I did, I don't recall. It's September now. Historically, I have done really well here in the fall. I need to come out here more often. I just don't. I don't know why I don't. I just don't. This place is kind of out of sight, out of mind to me. It's not a place I come for anything else but this. I don't come up here on like bait runs, and I don't catfish up here. This is, if I make a trip up here to this location, it's just to ultralight fish. So it's not a place that's always on my mind, but I always enjoy fishing up here. It's beautiful. It's very productive. I mean, let's look up here at this cliff wall, man. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It'd be more beautiful if we was catching a fish. Let me throw right over there. We may switch back over to the real worm here in a second and throw in through here and see if we're just not getting bit. I like the idea of catching a few fish on the real worm, locating them basically, and then throwing the gulp in there. Something's got it. Nope, he was running with it. He was running with it, but he didn't get the hook apparently. Let's make another cast or two with this, and we'll put the real worm back on. I wonder, with this thing being so long, so much of the worm being beyond the hook, I wonder if we need to maybe trim it, possibly? Shrink it down a little bit? I don't know. My first time using these, folks. We're just learning this mess together. I'm gonna put on this area right here, it just looks like it should have some fish. I want to just try, we'll set this down and we'll try a real worm again here for a second. Get that old weed off there. Some kind of algae or something on that hook. Most of these red worms here I've got in this container, unfortunately, they ain't very big. I feel like we got a bit gypped on our worm container here. Thing ought to say, instead of red worms, it ought to say baby worms. Now, as far as how deep we are, you can see I don't have my graph on. I rarely use it when I'm doing this style of fishing. I like to, oh, we got hit right away. I hope he didn't just steal our worm. There, we got him. Oh, he's a tiny thing. Little old bluegill. I don't rarely ever run my graph when I'm doing this style of fishing, because it's just, well, honestly, you just don't need it. You can beat the banks, you don't really need to know how deep you are, water temperature, stuff like that. And I can tell you just from fishing out here in the past with a graph, we're probably setting right in through here, probably 12, 15 feet deep where the kayak's at. And obviously casting up shallower. And back there by that cliff wall, we could be this far away from the bank and be 20 feet or more deep. It's just, this area drops off real fast here, but these fish, they'll be up along the shoreline, along these down trees, and anything they can relate to. I thought for sure we'd get a little bit more attention right through here. It looks, I guess it looks fishier to me than it does to the actual fish. There was something after it again. It was just small bluegill over there. He's tugging on it again. There we got him. That's a bass. Tiny bass, though. Largemouth? Largemouth, yep. Look how small he is. That's a fingerling right there, because he's about as big as my pinky finger. All right, well, let's move along here, folks. We ain't getting the quality we want right in through here, so we'll move along and move on down. I got a squeak down there in my pedals you'll have to disregard. I got my Hobie Lynx out here today. My favorite kayak to catch fish out of right now. But it's got something that needs a WD-40, a squirt of WD-40 down there. Now, I don't know exactly where that WD-40 needs to hit, but it needs to hit somewhere on them pedals. There's a big splash down there in front of us, too. Yeah, we'll make a few casts here with the worm. When we lose the worm, we'll put the gulp back on. We'll just rotate them in and out today and see how we do over the next couple of hours. I'm curious to see how them things, I'm curious to see how they do. Now, they say they're a floating worm. I'm curious. I'd like to see how they look underwater. Like, will the tail end of the worm stick up? I mean, it should, in theory, slow the fall, too, with that jig head being a floating worm. Compared, anyway, to the real worm, which ain't going to slow it down at all. Let me just get right around these trees right here. We'll try to get right around this tree. That way I can throw up in here closer to the bank. Without hopefully getting in these trees. I have a feeling we may lose some jigs today to some overhanging trees. They're hanging kind of low to the water. My jig skipping skills, we got a fish just like that too. My jig skipping skills they're not top notch, folks. They're subpar, to say the least. I'm a catfisherman. I don't do a lot of casting. What about you, bluegill? You ever skipped a jig up under a tree? He said never in his life. He's never one time in his life even tried. We got half that worm still on there. Let me just throw it back over there, see if he's got a friend. And then we'll switch over to that gulp worm. Nothing. Usually you get on some bluegill, you'll find them. I mean, bluegill are schooling fish. Usually there's one there, there's multiple. Let's throw that gulp worm over there and see what it'll do. We ain't got much of that red worm left. I'm just gonna, I got something, y'all hear that? It's a skeeter buzzing around my ear. I swear, I think the mosquitoes get worse this time of year. It's like they're trying to feed heavy before everything gets cold. They'll eat you up out here. September and October, it seems like, here in East Tennessee, mosquitoes are just out of control. Oh, something's after it. I'm gonna let it. Oh, really, I think, yeah, he's coming right at us. He didn't have it though. I was trying to let him eat it. Get down there and get that hook. I think some of them smaller bluegill that we would, like the last one we caught, it's easy for them to eat the small worm, the real worm. It's easier for them to eat the gulp minnow, but the thicker gulp worm here, I'm about to swat this mosquito. Boy, as soon as he lights, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna light him up. But it may be a little bit more difficult for the smaller, say the 4 or 5 inch bluegill, to get this gulp worm. Throw right over there. I see part of the tree coming off into the water. You got all these rocks that have broken free from the cliff wall and have fallen down. Are we back? We're back. Something, technology, folks, something went haywire with the camera. It beeped at me and shut off, but it appears to be working now. So let's get back to it over here. I tell you, buddy, we're having a hard time today. Between casting malfunctions, getting snagged up, camera randomly shutting off. I got a mosquito right there. I got him. I just killed that and got his blood there on my finger. And we had a fish on there too. I missed it. We got everything going on out here, folks. This trip is going to be a complete just cluster. But you know what? We're gonna have some fun. There's something. We're gonna catch some fish. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna make the most of it, folks. Here's one on our gulp worm right here. Old bluegill. Oh, well, he's out of here too. He didn't want to stick around. Let me throw over there, I tried to throw almost up on the bank that time. I think something hit me right then too. Oh, that one's pulling now. Oh, he must have been around something. He ain't very big. Oh, that's one of them there green sunfish right there. Look at that. Nice. They're kind of like a bluegill as far as body size goes, but you can see they have a much bigger mouth. Different colorations on them right there. If I should have brought my bucket. I planned on getting some shad when I leave here. I'd have kept him as a live bait for tomorrow's catfish trip, but I'm gonna cast in a tree apparently. There we go. I'm going to get some shad when I leave here. I'm gonna do some more light tackle catfishing tomorrow. I've been super in. There's another one. All right, we're getting the gulp worm dialed in now. It's working pretty good over here on this spot. There on that tree coming off. There he is. Seems pretty durable too. I mean, it's got some tears in it, but it's still on there. One of the big complaints with gulp minnows is that the plastic is so soft it tears real easy. And I usually get 8 or 10 fish per gulp minnow. Oh. But I'm using small hooks too. And I think a lot of people that have problems with the gulp tearing, the quality of them, they're using hooks that are too big oftentimes. that's a big no-no. If you use a hook that's too big on them, because it is a, you know, the term soft plastic is kind of universal, right? Like you hear that term all the time, and for anything that's a plastic lure in the fishing industry, it's a soft plastic, but the gulp is really soft plastic. There's another mosquito. Get him. I done killed his friend down there. He's probably coming to get revenge on me. I feel like one of them got me on my finger right there. I'm gonna throw over here. I think we're gonna be able to. Oh, something robbed it. Well, I was just talking about that gulp being durable, and look what happened. We got robbed. Let me put a real one back on. We'll just rotate in and out and see how we end up doing. I am going to throw right over here in front of us, though. We can hit it from this angle and be able to hopefully get back up under there. It wasn't a great cast, but we're rolling with it here. Let's see what happens. We'll let it sink down. I love doing this though. This is one of my favorite ways to fish because it's so productive, and you never know. First off, you never know what you're going to catch, and then you catch so many fish. I mean, even out here today, hell, we've been in the tree. I'm in a tree right now. There we go. Had my line in it. The bait was in the water. My line was in the tree. But I mean, hell, we've had camera malfunctions. I've cast into trees, and we've still caught several fish already. I mean, you can't beat it, man. This is an awesome way to fish. And I just like, one of the things that I appreciate about this is the fact that I don't care. There's a fish. I don't care what we catch. He's pulling too. Look at him go. That's the better one. I don't know what he is yet, but he's a good one. Oh, that's a real good one. Look at that. Hey, we'll throw him on our measuring board. That's a real good one right there, man. All right. Let me get hold of you. He just threw a worm off and it landed in the floor. We're going to reuse that thing. Nice. Nice fish right here. Put him on the board. I guarantee he's over 8 inches too. He is. Between 8 1/4 and 8 1/2. Nice, man. Let me hold him up there like that. Nice. I love catching big bluegill like that. But I don't care really species-wise what we catch, because with the tackle, man, everything just, it's fun. And that's one of the things lately, regular viewers, you've been seeing me do a lot of light tackle catfishing. And it's going to be a kick to the gonads the day comes that when I'm hooked up to that true monster fish on the light tackle and just can't do nothing with it. But the smaller fish, from dinks up to, hell, I mean, I've caught some pretty good sized fish so far on the light tackle. I caught my biggest fish over the last 2 or 3 months time period I caught on the light tackle. And it took, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes to land the damn thing. But it was awesome. And man, I've been having fun with it. And because it's just, you're playing tug of war is what you're doing. And it's not like it's not fun catching, boy, I'm about to spin into this tree right here. Let me circle around on the other side of this branch. We'll try this again. It's not like it's not fun catching fish, regardless, on any tackle. I mean, there's a level of fun to it, certainly, no matter what. But the lighter the tackle you're using, the bigger the fish on the end of the line is going to feel. You catch a 5-inch bluegill on this ultralight rod, it's going to feel much better than on the bass tackle rod, is the example we used there earlier. Like it's probably not even going to bend the tip of a heavier action bass rod. Same thing with the catfish. When I go out and I catch them on a light tackle rod, that 5-pound catfish is going to double that rod over. But on my heavier gear, that same 5-pound catfish, yeah, oh hell, we're hung again. He'll bend the rod over a little bit, but the fight's going to be over in seconds because of the heavier gear. Like I'm going to be able to just winch him up. And you're not going to do that with the light tackle because you can't winch them up. I mean, even aside from the fact that the rods is, of course, doubled over in half, you've also got the fact that you're using lighter line. So you have to be a little bit more careful and take your time and be patient and play the fish. Like use the tackle to play the fish. And it's a different level of fun. I think it adds something to the experience. And at least, for the smaller fish. Now, when you get to them real trophy class fish, I mean, they're going to put your heavy tackle to the test. Like them big bruisers, man, like they're going to test any tackle that you put out there. But you have to look at it from a percentage standpoint and what are your real goals? You have to ask yourself this, because when you are going out, when you're gearing up for the real trophies, your 50-pound and up fish, let's say, you're obviously going to be using the heavier rods, you're going to be using heavier line, bigger hooks, et cetera, et cetera. But when you think about what fish are you catching throughout the year? Like, I mean, a trophy to me is something you're not catching every day. Like, you don't catch a true trophy fish every day. I don't. Hell, I don't know anybody that does. Trophies just, they're trophy fish for a reason. Like, it's a periodic catch. When the stars align, everything goes right, you get that big-time catch. But most of the fish you're going to catch throughout the year aren't trophies. They're not anywhere near it. I mean, if you average out all the catfish I catch throughout the year, most of them are going to be under 10 pounds. Yet, oh, something hit me. But yet we're not gearing up for 10-pound fish, right? Like we take out the gear that's suited for the 50-pound and up fish, but yet how many of those do you get throughout the year? Not very many usually, right? So it's like, why do we spend all of our time gearing up for the fish that we just rarely going to hook into? And it's not like you can't catch a big fish on the lighter gear. You certainly can. I mean, it's certainly possible. You just have to take your time. You got to use your gear. You got to have a little bit of luck too, if we're being honest. You got to have some things go right. You need it to like not go swim into a tree or something with your lighter line. Like you're going to break off with that for sure. But like it's still possible. But like if 90-95% of your catches are fish that are 10, 15 pounds or less, why not make sure that you have the most amount of fun possible with the fish that you catch the most of? And that's something that's never been my mindset. My mindset's always been, if I want to go out and catch a bunch of fish or you know, do something like that, then I come out here with the ultralight like we're doing today. When I go catfishing, I'm hunting for whoppers. And I want to be geared up and prepared for it when it happens. But you know, I've been playing around with the light tackle, and I've got to tell you, it's kind of changing my tune a little bit. I've been having so much fun with it. It's kind of changing my attitude. And so yesterday, I'll tell you this, yesterday, I went out and water was, we had a few feet of visibility where I was at yesterday. I mean, the water's fairly clear. And I was fishing 2 rods. I had one light tackle rod and I had my heavy action rod, my signature series rod there. And the light tackle, there's one. Another bluegill, buddy. He's pulling like a Dickens too. That's another good one. This one might be the biggest so far on the gulp worm. All right. I'm not going to put him on the board there, but I'd say he's close to 8 inches, I'd say. Back up here, I'm going to throw over there again. But yesterday, the water was kind of clear. It was a sunny day. So undoubtedly, between the clear water and the fact the sun was overhead, I'm sure there was a shadow that I was putting off with the kayak. And I'm drifting along, one heavy rod, big bait, and one lighter tackle rod with a smaller bait. And I don't know, I didn't go back and count on the video how many fish I ended up getting. It was several throughout the afternoon. We got a fish there pecking at that thing. He was pulling on it, he didn't get it. Did he get our worm? No, he didn't. I don't know how many I ended up getting total, but I can tell you exactly how many I got on the heavy tackle. 1. We caught more fish, probably close. Oh, that fish is swimming with it right here, folks. I went to pick up on it, my line's going to the left. He had it and was gone. Come over here, bluegill, show us what you got. Show us what you got going on here. He says, I ain't got nothing going on today, Justin. I'm just eating me a fake worm. But we got one yesterday on the heavy tackle, and however many we ended up with on the light tackle, which was several. And my biggest fish, oh, there's one. The gulp worm getting it done right here now. My channel members, buddy, they know what they're talking about. Old Daniel sent me a fish catcher right here now. But the light tackle just dominated yesterday. It dominated both on numbers, and my biggest fish came on the light tackle. And you know, you ask yourself why. Why did that happen? On my big bait, I was using skipjack. I tried the head for a while, and then I tried a body section. The fish that I caught ate the body section. Oh, he ripped our worm off. All right, well, let's put the real worm back on. But you ask yourself why. Why does one bait outperform the other 7, 8, 10 to 1, however many? I don't remember how many fish we caught yesterday. I didn't review the video footage to count them up, but you know, let's say it's 7, 8 to 1, 9 to 1, 10 to 1, whatever it worked out to be. It was pure domination of one rig and one bait compared to the other. And the skipjack, I mean, we got, well, this one right here is pulling hard too. This is another good one right here. Buddy. Yeah, this is another good one. There's some big bluegill over here. Right here on these rocks and that limb sticking out. I'm gonna throw him on the board too, just out of curiosity. I want you to look too at this thing. I get him unhooked here. Look at the meat on him, buddy. I mean, he's thick. We got a bald eagle. You hear him? I don't see him up there, but I hear him. You better swim fast, Blue. You let bald eagle go and get you. Come here, let me get you on that board. He'll graze that 8-inch line. Just to graze it. Y'all hear that bald eagle? Where's he at up there? Well, he stops now that I'm putting the camera up. He can probably see us, I can't see him. Let me fix our worm back, and I'm gonna try to tell you what I'm trying to tell you. But the skipjack I was using yesterday, I mean, I've told you all this before, but like that's my preferred bait, man. I'd rather have skipjack than anything on the Tennessee River. And it was fresh. I caught them yesterday morning, whereas my shad was 2 days old. And yet the shad dominates. And one of the things I have to wonder is, did it have anything to do with the tackle? The lighter line, fluorocarbon leader versus, I was using 15-pound fluoro for the light line and 80-pound mono for my heavy line, as we got another fish. But that's a big difference. And I was using a number 1 size hook on the light tackle and a 10-aught size hook on the heavy. So, I mean, you're talking huge differences in hook size, line size, bait size, etc. And it wasn't even close, man. I wouldn't have even gotten a video yesterday had I been using just the heavy gear alone. I probably would have just caught that one fish, truth be told. And you start asking yourself, why is that? Like, is that a coincidence? Were they just wanting shad that day? Like, were they just keyed in on that bait and just didn't want the skipjack? Because like they weren't even hardly touching the skipjack. Like I wasn't getting fish coming up and pecking it hardly. But yet we kept catching fish on the shad. And I wonder, part of me wonders if it had anything to do with the fact it was just a bright sunny day and super clear water. And the lighter line and smaller hook was because I mean, I figure, I don't know how good of eyesight that catfish have. I have no idea. But they have eyeballs, so they can clearly see something. And you have to figure yesterday they could probably see pretty good. Were they getting a look at the heavier rig and just realizing that something wasn't natural about it and passing it up, whereas the lighter tackle rig, they didn't notice it as much because of the lighter line and stuff? I don't know. But you see that all the time with other fish species. I mean, bass fishermen, when they're fishing somewhere that's super clear water, they do finesse presentations, downsize line, downsize lures. I've told you all before on these ultralight videos, man, when I switched from 4-pound line to 2-pound line, my bites went way up. My catches went through the roof. Big change, just going from 4-pound to 2-pound. So maybe there's something to it. We always say, and I've told people for years on my videos, catfish aren't line shy. And you say that because, well, hell, look how many I've caught using 80-pound leaders and giant hooks and all that. And you look at how many fish get caught just every day, people doing the same thing. People running trot lines with big lines and jug lines with big lines and all that. Like, catfish will definitely eat baits with big lines and big hooks. They'll do it. But are they willing to do it all the time? Or are there situations, maybe like yesterday, where you've got high visibility scenarios where maybe if you downsize, maybe it's going to increase your chances. Maybe catfish are a little bit more particular than what we give them credit for being. I mean, they are a predator fish. A lot of times there's a misconception about catfish. They're just bottom feeders, trash fish. They're opportunistic. If you've got a piece of cut bait on bottom when they're around, they'll eat it. But the bulk of their diet is not pieces of cut bait laying on bottom. The bulk of their diet is made up of live fish. They are hunting down live fish, like they are predators. So I have no doubt they use all of their senses. I mean, they have a lateral line just like this bluegill does and bass does and all that, but catfish are also kind of one big tongue, if you will, like they can taste and or smell, whatever you want to call it. If there's blood in the water or oils or some scent, like they can pick up on that and come get it. But yeah, I don't know, man. Yesterday was kind of one of those things for me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've had days in the past where you're out there using 2 rods and maybe 2 different types of baits, and one just outproduces the other. Like, it happens. You'll have one rod catch damn near all the fish and the other one don't get touched. It happens. So it's too small a sample size to take a whole lot from it. But it is something to put in the back of your mind in the future, similar situations. Like, next time I'm in a clear water, sunny day scenario, I'm going to be mindful of that. I'm going to be paying attention to it. Because, I mean, if that's one of those things, like, if you start seeing a pattern with it and can plan for it, it can be that can be a game changer for you as far as catching fish on those conditions, especially, too, if you are a tournament fisherman. You know, you as a tournament fisherman, you're always looking for an edge. You're always looking for something that the competition either don't know or don't do. And I can tell you this, I've fished with enough guys to tell you, ain't nobody out there running 15-pound line and small hooks, number 1 size hooks for trophy catfish. They ain't doing it, okay? It ain't happening. Everybody uses the heavy gear, everybody. But, and I don't know, man, in a tournament situation, I don't know if I could go out there throwing the light line stuff or not, because, I mean, you're one mistake away from just snapping that line on your big fish. But if that's the difference, if that's what gets you bit, and your heavier stuff ain't getting bit, hell, that could mean a difference in winning or losing or cashing a check or whatever in the tournament. So, or if you're just going out and fun fishing, it can mean the difference in a day like yesterday, catching 1 fish on the heavy gear versus however many I ended up getting on the lighter gear. We got another one right here we're going to catch. And my biggest fish yesterday, my 2 biggest fish, both came on the lighter gear. It's another thick bluegill right here, man. He's another one that's probably in that. Well, we'll find out. I got it handy right here. He's probably in the 8-inch range. Just shy. just shy of it right there. Look at all the purple on that one, though. Beautiful fish. As he flops around and acts a fool. We got a little bit of that worm left on here. Let me throw it a few more times, and when we switch over again, we'll put on the gulp worm. I'm liking rotating in and out like this because we're kind of hitting the same areas. And I think the Yeah, I've been talking to you and not paying as attention as close as I should have, but I think what we're going to find and what we're seeing so far, let's go ahead. We ain't got much of that worm on there left. Let's go ahead and put on the gulp again. I think what we're going to find here is that the numbers of fish will be comparable between the artificial and the real, but the quality, will end up getting more bigger fish with the real worms versus the fake ones. Like that's kind of how it is. It seems like when I'm using the gulp minnows, like I probably, in truth be told, I probably catch more fish on the gulp minnows than the real worms, just because I'm not having to constantly rebait a hook. Like it's just, I'm gonna get 8 or 10 fish there on the average gulp minnow versus 2 or 3 on a worm. So they last longer. You can make more casts, and that equates to more fish. But the quality ends up being a little better on the real worms versus the gulp minnows. And I think that's probably what we're going to find doing this as well. Another thing that I'm doing on the light tackle catfishing is I've been experimenting with hooks, trying to find the right hook for the situation. You know, because the rods are obviously very light action. So when a fish hits it and takes it down, like there's not a lot of resistance there to drive home a bigger hook. Then you've got the fact when I go to lean over in the kayak, I'm taking some of the pressure off the fish. As he's pulling down on the rod, I'm taking the side of the kayak over with me as I go to lean to grab it. So that's making it harder to get a hook set. So if you're using a thicker wire gauge hook, you're just going to have a harder time getting solid hookups. So I've been using smaller hooks, not only hook sizes, but smaller diameter on the wire. And I've been playing around with different brands, different styles, trying to figure out what's going to be the best for this particular technique. And yesterday I was using the #1 size, which is the smallest hook I've used so far, shiner hook. And I've also got some #1 size mosquito hooks, which I haven't tried. Now, I did try the 3/0 size mosquito hooks, and I was liking them until I had a trip where I probably missed 10 fish. And I'm like, okay, something's up here to be missing. Like you're going to miss some fish. Hell, we've missed some fish out here today with this setup and #8 hook, right? Like you're going to miss some fish. It happens. Nobody's gonna have 100% hookup rate on any type of fish. But I shouldn't have missed as many fish as I did on that particular day. So something was wrong. So I think my next trip tomorrow, what I'm planning on, I think I'm gonna try a #1 size mosquito on one rod and a #1 size shiner hook on the other, and see how they compare. See how the hookups are on those two hooks. I'm gonna dial it in. Like I'm into it. I'm not. See it right there. I talked about missing fish, and I missed one. But I'm into the light tackle stuff on the catfish enough now that like I'm determined to figure it out. Like what's going to be the best setup and all that. I'm pretty content with the 15-pound fluoro for my leaders. Like you need the thinner wire hooks have smaller hook eyes, and obviously smaller hooks do. So I mean I can't use heavy line and be able to thread it through there. And I'm getting bit enough with the 15-pound line. I'm pretty content with it. I don't feel a need to go any heavier. And I don't know that going, I might try some 10-pound just to see. I started out using the 15-pound fluoro for the leaders because I have a bunch of it. I had a big spool of it because that's what I use on my skipjack rigs. When I'm chasing bait, I use 15-pound fluoro to tie those. I already had it. I didn't have to go, it wasn't like I had to go out and buy something new. So that's why I use that, and it's working well. But it may be worthwhile to downsize a little more and just see if that'll increase. Just like going from 4-pound test to 2-pound test on the Ultralight equated to more fish, maybe going from 15 down to 10 might equate to more fish. I don't know. It'll probably equate to more break-offs, but that's part of the game, man. That's going to happen when you're using the light tackle stuff, just like it is with the Ultralight here. Like, it's part of the game. You're going to lose some fish. You hook into a big bass and he runs you around a tree limb, like, you're probably going to break off. Like, it happens. But when you look at how often that happens, and that's probably the thing that I've never really considered before with catfishing that I should have taken into consideration a long time before. It's like when I talk to people about ultralight fishing and using 2-pound line, everybody, the one thing they say, oh, I can't use that 2-pound, man. I can't. I got to use 4 or 6 or 8. I'm going to break off every time on that 2-pound. That's what they're always, the big fear is. And, like, yes, you are going to break off some with 2-pound line, but it happens. It ain't going to happen on this fish. I'm landing him. Well, he's doing acrobatic stuff right here. But, like, it does happen, okay? You will break off, but it don't happen nearly as often as what you probably think it will. Look at his red eyes. I think that's a red-breasted sunfish right there, I think. But, like, it don't happen nearly as often as you probably think it would. And so when you look at the number of fish that, let's just go for the ultralight for a second. When you look at how many fish I reel in on the ultralight versus how many times I break off, man, it's probably, and I'm not talking about like getting your jig hung in a tree and breaking off. I'm talking about like you hook a fish, you're reeling it in, and at some point during the fight, you break off. How often does that happen compared to how many fish you hook? Like, what's the percentage on that? It's a low percentage. I mean, probably less than 1%. Probably 0.5% maybe that it happens. And I don't know the exact number, but I'm not pulling that number out of my ass either, like you all that have come with me on these trips a lot. You've seen me, I've done a lot of ultralight videos. Some of these videos where I do 3-4 hour trips, you catch close to 100 fish. Like, how many of those times am I breaking off a fish? Very rarely. So it's under, I would say it's under 1%. Oh, oh man. Botched it. So there's the, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tear that worm right there. And then I'm going to hook again. We'll tear off the part that's tore up and rehook it and hopefully get more use out of it. We'll try that. But like, you know what I'm saying though? Like it's maybe an unjustified or an exaggerated fear that you're going to break off more than what you actually will with the 2-pound line, right? When you actually put the numbers on the paper and compare it, you're talking less than 1% of the time. So will it be the same way with catfishing? Like, am I just assuming that if I use 10 or 15-pound line and the small hooks that I'm going to break off way more? I mean, sure, I'm going to break off more than what I do with the heavy stuff because I never break off with it. Because it's hard for a fish to break 80-pound line. I mean, hell, you can't, God forbid you get snagged. You can't break that stuff off for love or money, man. Usually got to cut my line to be able to tie on a new rig. But like, it's very well possible that the fears and concerns with the light tackle and the catfishing are overblown, just like they are with the ultralight fishing and the 2-pound line. Like, it's very well possible that it ends up being, maybe I lose 1% or 2% of the catfish that I hook. Now, I guess the counter argument that some of you will make, and that I could make against myself here, is most of the fish I'm catching with the ultralight are going to be bluegill, right? They are going to be well under the 2-pound rating of the line. If you took the fish that exceeded 2 pounds in size, they exceeded the line rating, what percentage of those do I break off? And that would definitely be a higher percentage because, I mean, I'm catching way less of those. So maybe that's a higher percentage, and maybe you look at it like that, like, okay, for catfishing purposes, I'm using 15-pound line. Fish 15 pounds and under, what percentage of those are you breaking off versus 15 pounds and up? Maybe that's the way to look at it. That would probably be the counter argument. But either way, I mean, on my ultralight catches, like, I've caught a bunch of fish that were over 2 pounds with this and got them in. Like, it's doable. It's not like you're breaking off every single one of them. Like, it's doable. And even the biggest fish I've hooked this year on the ultralight happened a few months ago. And it was a big carp. And I fought that thing forever, man. It took forever. I had him up, had a look at him and stuff. And I had him up here close to the side of the kayak, and finally the hook popped free. As I popped that worm free out of that fish. But finally the hook just popped free. I didn't break off. The hook just came out. Probably ripped the flesh of the mouth on that carp. But like, I mean, it was way, way bigger than the line class. And, you know, of course, carp too are one of the hardest fighting fish we have in my area. Like, they're very underrated. I don't think people appreciate just how hard a carp fights. Like, they're the real deal, man. Carp are a battle. They're a battle on any tackle. But yeah, like that, I mean, I fought that fish forever though on the ultralight. Got the video to prove it and just popped the hook at the end of the fight there. Which was my fault. I was trying to get him up and get him in. I was getting a little aggressive with it, more so than I should have. Got to be patient. Something I struggle with. I'm not always the most patient person with anything in life. So, you know, that was on me. But it wasn't because of the line. The line didn't break. So I don't know, maybe it'll be the same way with catfish. We're going to find out, man. That's all we can do is just do it and try and just see what happens with it. And as long as we're having fun, look here, I'm going to have fun doing this. I missed him. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. There he is. I did get him. He flew up under my pant leg. Dang old skeeters. I'm going to take this gulp worm off a second. And I want to take a real worm and throw on this tree. I've got a good feeling about this tree right here. I'd like to find a worm that's somewhat plump. We got gypped on these red worms, man. They're small. There were some bigger ones in there, but they're for the most part, tiny little things. But I want to throw over here. I saw another skeeter going around. Where's he at? Let me swat that thing. We need to get us a bug zapper out here. But you see this tree out here? This is a big tree. Right here in front of us that comes off. I want to throw a real worm over there and see. We threw the gulp around it a few times and didn't do no good. Let's see if we can. We're already hit, just like that. He took that leaf down too. Did you see that? Just like that, we got bit. I knew there had to be something on that tree. That looks too perfect. Big tree like that coming out here over deeper water. It's got to have something on it. I hear that bald eagle again. I don't know where he's at up there, but I hear him. You can always tell the bald eagle because they've got that kind of high-pitched cackle almost. Bald eagle's got a real high-pitched voice. It reminds me of, oh! Well, we just launched that worm right back at us. Your life flashed before your eyes. It reminds me of Tiffany Stratton on wrestling. I'm a fan of her. Old Tiffy time. What time is it? It's Tiffy time. But she's got one of them high-pitched, squeaky voices. Like a bald eagle. I'll admit, I'm watching wrestling again, folks. It was bad for a lot of years, unwatchable. When it switched over to Netflix, I gave it another shot. And now I'm watching again. It still ain't as good as it used to be, but it's better. It's better than it was, for sure. They broke my heart when they done the John Cena heel turn. I loved the heel turn. The heel turn, when John Cena turned heel, it was amazing. I was all in on it. He was cutting them promos, ripping into the fans. They've been in a toxic relationship for 25 years. I'm like, you tell them, John. There's one. But then the way they flipped him back face again was stupid. It was absolutely stupid. The match between him and Cody, him dropping the belt to Cody again, was stupid. And it ruined it for me. What about you, Bluegill? You a John Cena fan? I only liked him when he was heel for the brief time. Let's throw him on the board here too. This is another one, man. It's a good one. Oh, you fish, you knocked our worm can over. You've made a mess now. I hope you feel bad about it. He's another one, though. He's 8 inches of a problem child's what he is, man. Doggone it. Look at this mess he's made. Look at this. I gotta get some of these, let me get all this dirt and worms here back in there. You danged old fish. I need to wash this kayak off. I need to wash it off anyway. I'll just throw some water on it when I get over there. I get back to the launch today. This kayak, I don't wash kayaks very often because it's always such a chore to do. But this one is incredibly easy to wash. Because this Hobie Lynx, yeah, I've said it's like a paddleboard kind. It's a flat surface and the plastic's real smooth. And it's spray it with a water hose, take a sponge, and easy peasy. 5 minutes, most, you're done with it. So I'm more inclined to wash this one than my others. My others, they get it maybe once a year. Maybe twice if they're stinking real bad or something. The Hobie Pro Angler, of the kayaks I have, the Hobie Pro Angler is the worst one to wash. Because it's got that kind of rough texture plastic on top, and you have to really scrub it. Like I gotta take a brush and really put some elbow grease in it. My Old Town, it's a smoother plastic, so again, I just gotta take that sponge with it, but it's got more crevices and whatnot. You got the hatch and around the graph and the seat. Like you got stuff you got to wash around. This here, I mean, it's just flat space. Like there's nothing. It's easy. I did one of these recent videos for regular viewers. I was talking about kayaks I was interested in trying out. And I found another one last night that I'm interested in trying. I don't have a lot of faith in it. We're going to move on from this tree. It wasn't as productive as what I had hoped it would be. But, oh, I got another skeeter right here. Missed him. They seem to be liking my left foot more than my right foot. Dang old skeeters. No, he's up here around my hand now. Get him. Oh, I got him. You see him right there? I got him. Ha ha, sucker. He literally is a sucker too. Old blood sucker right there. But one of these videos recently, I was talking about kayaks I'm wanting to try. And there's a couple that I'm interested in. I'd like to try out the 10-foot Old Town pedal kayak, just to see what it's like, what it feels like, how fast it is compared to my Old Town Big Water. I like to see how comfortable, how stable and all that it is too. I'd also like to try out the Hobie Compass. That's another one that I think has potential to be a pretty fast kayak. I think it's got some potential. But the kayak I saw last night, and it's from a company called Vibe, which isn't a company that I pay a lot of attention to because they have a reputation for just being piss poor quality. Their stuff's made in China, so you get cheaper prices. That's one good thing about them. Like they're a cheaper brand of kayak. You save a little money because they're manufactured overseas. But quality is known to be piss poor with the Vibe. But they've got one, I think it's called a Marsala, chicken Marsala. It's something like that. Macarna Masala. It's 10 foot long and very lightweight, like 77 pounds with the seat. So it's kind of comparable to my Native Slayer that I got, but you can use the Hobie pedal drive in it. And so I'm interested in trying it out. The Native Slayer, like there's things about it I like, but I don't love it. As many things there are that I like about it, there's also a bunch of stuff I don't like about it. And I'm curious, oh, right there's one thumped me. It was a big thump for a small fish. But I'm curious to see, and I don't know anybody that uses a Vibe kayak because they're just, most of the people I know that kayak fish, they're serious about it, and so they use better quality gear. And the Vibe just has terrible reputation. And I would assume the fact that kayak only weighs 77 pounds with the seat, like you got to be skimping on plastic a little bit, right? I mean, yeah, it's comparable weight to the Native Slayer 10, but the Native Slayer 10 is skimped on some plastic too compared to other kayaks that are, that are heavier in the same length. So I don't know, but the design of it's interesting. We got another fish on, small one by that tree. The design of it's interesting, and I like that you can potentially take the Hobie drive from the Lynx here and put in there. I'm curious to see how fast it would be. That was my biggest complaint with native Slayer, is just how slow it is. Like if I'm pedaling at a brisk pace, I'm barely hitting 3 miles an hour in that thing. Whereas this Lynx here, if I'm pedaling at a brisk pace, I'm over 4 miles an hour. There's another one. You might think, well, Justin, hell, it's a mile an hour. That ain't that big a difference. Well, it adds up over time, man. 3 miles an hour, it takes you 20 minutes to go 1 mile. 4 miles an hour, it takes you 15 minutes. So if you're making a 1 mile run out and back, you lose 10 minutes of your trip. There's another fish. If you're making a 2 mile run, you lose double. Now you multiply that out by however many times you fish per year. Say you go fishing 100 times. That's a lot of minutes lost, a lot of hours lost of time you ain't got baits in the water. It's going to cost you some fish, man. So I'd be curious to know that 10-foot vibe with the Hobie pedal drive. Would it be more efficient? Would it be faster? Oh, there's another fish on it, man. We got some fish on this tree. See that tree right there coming out into the water? You can see the trunk of it back there. It's clearly got some fish on it here. We'll throw over here again with the live worm, and when that live worm gets ripped off, we'll throw the gulp worm on, see what it does. But yeah, I'd be interested in trying it out just to see how it feels. I'd really like to know how thin the plastic. Oh, here we go. This one hit it like a freight train, but ended up not being very big. I was excited when he first hit it, man. He must have got it going full speed. He is a thicker fish, but not very long. I can't get that hook out of him either. You wasn't coming free, fish. There we go. Goodness. But I don't know. It may be just a limitation of the 10-foot kayak that you're going to be significantly slower than some of the others. However, I mean, this Hobie Lynx is only 11 foot, and I can get a full mile per hour faster on the same energy output. So I don't know. It'd be worth a shot. I just don't know. That Vibe kayak is not one that I would take a chance on. Like the native Slayer, I had very little seat time in that thing. Like I demoed it I went down to Dugout Bait and Tackle there in Georgia, and I got a few minutes in it in that little pond they have behind their shop. And I was willing to take a chance on it based on that. And I thought, well, if I don't end up liking it, I'll just sell it, and I'll take a little bit of a loss on it, which I still need to sell that thing. But I had a bass running with that thing. With the native, at least it's a good quality brand, a good quality pedal drive. Like you're gonna have some resale value with the native if you try it out and you end up not liking it. Like my situation here, like I will be able to sell that thing when I list it for sale. I'll take a loss. I mean, anytime you go from, like this fish here, he's taking a loss on the day. Hell, he didn't even get it in the mouth. Got it up under the gill plate. Silly old fish. But yeah, I mean, if you buy something new and you sell it used, you're going to take a loss. But there's a market for it. Like I will sell that native Slayer kayak. Somebody will buy it. There are people interested in that model. The Vibe, on the other hand, I don't know that there's that big a market for the Vibe unless you're given one hell of a deal. So it's not a kayak that I'm going to be willing to just go take a chance on. I would definitely want to try it out. I want to see it. I want to feel around on the plastic. I want to stand up on it, see how much flex there is in the floor. When you've got these thin, and I know it's a thin plastic kayak based on the weight. Like you can't use that plastic and come out at 77 pounds if you're as thick as, say, my Old Town Big Water kayak. Like the math don't math, you know what I mean? Like you gotta skimp somewhere to get the weight down. So I want to know where they've skimped at. Is it the bow and the stern, the keel, like the parts that's going to take the abuse when you pull up on rocky shorelines and boat ramps and stuff? Is it along the floor by the seat? Is there any flex there? Are you going to get cracks? You know, these cheaper companies like Vibe, they're offering a cheaper kayak to people who are, two groups of people are going to buy Vibe kayaks or any cheaper kayak. Let's switch out to a gulp worm here. But there's two groups of people who's going to be interested in that. You're going to have people who are new to kayak fishing and they're wanting a kayak that's got a lot of the features, fishing features, a nicer seat, a higher seat option, gear tracks, and all that. They want all of those things, but they want it on a budget because they're new, they're just starting out, they're limited funds. They're going to be interested in that. The other kind of people who would be interested are kind of recreational people who maybe just want some kayaks to go out on the lake with their kids or spouse or something like that. They're just a casual person. Both of those two groups of people aren't going to be in that kayak very much. The person who is interested in kayak fishing, wants to try it out and wanting to kind of start out on a budget, here's what's going to happen with them. They're either going to fall in love with kayak fishing and immediately want to upgrade to a better quality kayak, or they're going to hate kayak fishing and they're not going to do it very much. But either way, that person isn't going to use that particular kayak very much. They're not going to have a chance to really wear it out. Same thing with the recreational person. Husband and wife buy a couple kayaks, go to the lake on the weekends or something. Hell, they're going to do it 5 or 10 times a year. Like, they're not going to wear out those kayaks. Whereas somebody like me, who not only loves kayak fishing and wants to do it all the time, but like doing this YouTube crap, like this is my job. Like, you know, this is what I do. Like I not only just want to go out, but like I have to go out. And I need equipment that can hold up to the abuses that I put it through. And I'm not trying to be hard on anything. Like I try to take care of my gear. I don't purposely go out trying to break stuff. But the volume of trips that I do, and not only just number of days on the water, but also you take like a day like today, where I'm coming in, I'm putting in at this body of water, do some ultralight fishing. And then when I'm done here, I'm going to go hit another body of water and I'm going to net some shad. Well, it's only one day of fishing either way, but I'm putting in at 2 different launch sites, both of which are concrete. And so when you run your kayak up on that, time and time and time again, if you've got a thin plastic hull, a cheaper quality kayak, it's not going to hold up. Or if you've got a thin plastic in the flooring of the kayak and they don't have the seat properly supported, every time you plop down in that seat, you've got all your weight coming down on that thin plastic, like you're running the risk of cracking right there. And so companies like like that. I'm not just singling them out. There's a lot of companies these days are popping up. Their stuff's made in China. Hobie's bad anymore. They're made in Mexico, but they're made overseas. The quality control's not ideal. And if you use something to the number of days and extent that I use it, I've just got doubts that it's going to hold up long term. And I mean, if you're putting that kind of money into something, you want to, even at the cheaper price that, say, this Vibe is, like, if you crack the hull, it now has zero value. Like, whatever you could have got reselling, which would be less because it's an inferior company, but it's going to be way less if you've damaged it. So I just, man, I would have to. It's a cool concept. I like the design from looking at it, but I don't know that I could just pull the trigger on it without getting some seat time in it. Like, I would have to try it out. But I'd like to see some more companies offer some shorter 10, 11-foot models. I do want to see more of that. More 10, 11-foot models with comfortable seats, lighter weight. Definitely want the lighter weight. I want to not get a hernia loading up a kayak, you know. Oh, crap. I set the hook on that, y'all. That wasn't a fish I was setting the hook on. Oh, man. No, we've probably cost ourselves a jig right here. Let me get turned around here. Hopefully we'll get this out, but we may be breaking this one off. I drove it in pretty good. Any fish that were over here is gone now when I go floating right over the top of them with my squeaking pedals. Yeah, I don't think we're getting this one off here, folks. Let me just pop that line. There we go. Back us up. Well, I guess we're going to retie. This is a good opportunity for me to show you, if you're new to my channel, this is a good opportunity for me to show you how I store my jigs here in my life jacket. I've got just this little plastic, it was actually a catfish hook box once upon a time. Some catfish sumo hooks came in this box, and I've repurposed it to store my, and I've got not only the 1/64 ounce size, I've got some other sizes in there too that I use on occasion, but I just keep them all in there. That way they're always handy in my life jacket, no matter which kayak I'm in. Oh, I wish these damn things had bigger. Wish they had bigger eyes there, that way I could see the, there, I got it. Another one of my channel members, Lynn Lloyd, had got me some reading glasses to be able to see to put the line through these jig heads. She got me them 2 or 3 years ago now. They in my other kayak. But I like to keep my jigs on me in my life jacket, that way no matter what kayak I'm in, I've always got them handy. I keep my skipjack rigs, I keep them pre-tied. I make a bunch of them up during the winter. And I keep them in my life jacket too. That way I'm always ready. Now, let's take our scissors and trim that, and we're back in the game. Well, my scissors won't cut that line. Hell far. We're in bad shape and scissors won't cut 2-pound line. There it is. Them scissors had it, folks. I'm going to have to ask Santa Claus to get me some new scissors, I reckon. All right. Well, I guess let's put a real worm back on. Keep making our way down through here. Yeah, I like to carry most of my stuff on me, because I'll tell you this, I've had situations, and it's a problem, I guess, of having too many kayaks, you know, one of them third world problems, first world problems, whatever the saying goes. I show up to fish somewhere, and my gear is in another kayak. You get to the water, you get all the way out there, and you're like, damn it, I don't have what I need. Like, that's happened a lot. It's happened more times than I care to talk about. So I try to keep stuff either in my life jacket or in my camera bag. And I try to keep a life jacket in each one of my vehicles, because that's been a problem in the past too. You get somewhere and you ain't got your life jacket. At some point in time or another, I have forgotten just about everything. I can't remember nothing without making a note of it. I've learned I keep a fish. Ooh, he's gonna pull too. This is gonna be a little better one right here. He's right here off this tree coming out. I see the leaves there under the water. Another big bluegill. Big old fish right here, man. Big thick one. Oh, buddy, nice. Nice bluegill right there. Gave us our worm back too. Oh, well. So much for getting a decent look at him. He said he ain't got time for that. He's got an appointment to get to today. He's got to go to get his mouth looked at, because he just got a hook in it. Throw over again though, see what happens. But yeah, I keep that notes tab on my phone. If I think of something I need to remember, or something I need to do, or shopping list, I keep a list of stuff that I need to buy. Because if I don't, I'll get to the store and be like, man, I was coming in here for 3 things, and I won't be able to remember one of them. And I'll get home and be like, oh, crap, I should have got, you know, whatever, because I couldn't remember it. So now I make a list. As I realize that I need something, I write it down. That's the problem of getting old, people. And I ain't even old yet. That's the thing. Like, I'm still, I guess I'm middle-aged technically, but I don't feel like I'm that old. It goes by fast, man. Every day, just, the days are long, the years fly by, as the old saying goes. Just try to soak it all up, especially days like today where you just got perfect weather. Well, it ain't all perfect because we got mosquitoes. My feet are itching something terrible where they've got me so many times. But the weather's perfect. It's not too cool, not too hot. The wind ain't blowing. Perfect day for ultralight fishing. We got fish biting. I don't know how many we've caught now, but we've got a bunch. Like, today's been for all our blunders today, camera malfunction, we had a line get messed up there first thing. Just lost that jig in a tree over there a minute ago. But through all that, we're getting some fish just like this one right here that we got hooked up with. Getting some fish, having some fun, having us a day, man. That's what it's all about. That's how I want to spend my time, you know, doing what I like to do, and hopefully getting as many days as possible doing what I like to do before the ticket gets punched. You just never know when that ticket's gonna get punched, though. I watched a video. I shouldn't have watched it. Pissed me off. I see stuff like that, it makes me angry. I try not to watch this stuff, but it popped up, and I wasn't even aware of the story. But it was that little girl that got stabbed in Charlotte on the train. And I hadn't heard about this story. I don't know. I don't even honestly know when it happened, but there's a million videos out about it. So, I mean, it's happened a while ago. But I saw, there's a bunch of videos, people talking heads and stuff, like showing her getting on the train and like leading up to it and whatnot. But like I saw the video where the dude got her, and if you ain't seen it, I don't recommend watching it. But to tell you about it, it's this little girl. She don't weigh probably 100 pounds. I don't know how old she was, but I mean, she's a small girl. She sits down on the train in this seat, and there's a dude behind her. And she's just sitting there minding her own business, man. She didn't engage with that guy at all. She just got on the train and sat down. And he all of a sudden just takes out a knife and just right behind her just starts stabbing her in the neck and the chest. And I mean, you can tell, I mean, just, well, that fish ripped us off. That one ripped us off right there. But you can tell, like, I mean, she's terrified. Because, I mean, this dude just come up behind her, you know. I mean, she was completely not ready for it. And he walks off. Like, I don't know where he went. But he just walks off. And there's other people that saw it happen on this train. Like, it's not just him and her on the train. Like, there's other people. A dude, the video shows this dude that was behind both of them. He gets up, walks right by, doesn't even try to help the girl, nothing. And the woman sitting right across the aisle from her saw the whole thing. Same deal. She gets up and goes on. Didn't offer to help this. I mean, this girl's bleeding from being stabbed. They didn't even try to help her or nothing. That just pisses me off. You know, like, you gotta do something in that situation, you know. We gotta do something right here, because this is a shell cracker. Look at this. This is a nice one right here. This is another one. If I had my bucket with me, I'd have kept this for a live bait. You can see he's got a shell cracker, though, a red-eared sunfish. We call them shell cracker. They got that little red right there, and they're bluegill. They look like a bluegill, but they're usually a little bigger. He's comparable to some of the bluegill we've been getting today. But they're a hardy fish for keeping alive in a small container that you have to have for kayak fishing. And flatheads and blues both love them. So I like me some shell cracker. That one ate a live worm. He ate the real worm. We got another one right here too. I don't know if it's shell cracker or not, but oh, bluegill. I don't get a lot of shell cracker, but usually they're usually a little bigger than the bluegill you're getting in the same area. That one he's probably as big as that shell cracker, maybe a little bigger than it was. Throw over there again. There's another old dead tree right there that's coming off in the water, and I bet you part of it's over there by where we're throwing. Yeah, anyway, I shouldn't be on social media scrolling through videos, because I see stuff like that and it triggers me. It makes me mad. It makes me mad that it happened to that poor girl. And it makes me even more pissed off at the people around that didn't lift a finger to help her. Not only did they not try to, I mean, they couldn't have stopped the guy, because, I mean, he was sitting there in his seat right behind her and was just, I mean, she's got her back turned. Like, she's completely, had no idea he was about to do that. So these other people on the train, they couldn't have stopped him from what he done. But somebody needs to tear into his ass, and somebody needs to check on her. You don't just walk right by the poor girl that's just been stabbed and is bleeding right there. Help her out. Try to do something. I mean, if nothing else, just try to, you know, I mean, hell, just sit there with her till help can come. Call help for her. Nobody was pulling out their phone to call 911. I mean, hell, it was just, it's crazy. And listen, I know, man, I'm about as little of a people person as you can get. Like, I'm not a people person. I don't like people. But there's just basic things as human beings. If you see somebody that's hurt or in distress, you help them out. If you see somebody's in danger, you try to get them out of danger or protect them, help them something. You don't just watch somebody get stabbed multiple times in the chest and neck and then just, well, I'm just going to go about my day, just walk off. Like, you know, who does that? Well, them people on the train. Apparently happened in Charlotte. There's some fish going down there on the shoreline busting down there. But yeah, that happened. I don't know when it happened, but I saw the video. It made me angry. I just don't understand it, man. You know, and who knows why a dude did it. I mean, he's probably got some kind of, I mean, he obviously has some kind of mental health issue. You don't just attack a random person on a train for no reason if you don't have something going on mentally, which is no excuse for what he done. No, but the people on the train with him, there is no excuse for them. I mean, there were several people on there, and not one of them lifted a finger to help her, to sit with her, to call 911. Two of them literally walked right by her and went on. And I'm just like, what the hell's the world come to, man? Like, it's one thing when we're online and, you know, everybody hates everybody online. I've been making money hand over fist on Facebook, just posting videos of me showing a rod going down without showing the fish, and it pisses people off and triggers them to comment, and that gets me more views. And, you know, it's, people can gripe and complain and everything that we do online. That's one thing. But man, when you're in person and you see another human being like literally bleeding out and you don't lift a finger, you don't even call 911. Like that's a whole different ball game, man. Like that's way different. And I guess that's just where we're at with society now. Like I knew it was bad and has gotten way worse on social media in the last few years. Like I turned my YouTube comment box off several months ago. Haven't missed it at all because it was just so nasty and vile all the time. People are the worst, man, but they're way worse when they're behind anonymous screen names. Usually, or at least it used to be, when you see somebody in person, they were at least tolerable, at least decent to you, to your face. But boy, the world we're in today, man, you got to have eyes in the back of your head. Always be mindful of your surroundings. But you know, there ain't nothing this poor girl could have done. Like, I mean, she just got on the train, just sat down. We've all, well, I mean, we don't have, I guess technically where I live in the city, there's public transportation. Like in Knoxville, there's public transportation, but living in the South, you pretty much have to have a car to go somewhere because everything's so spread out. But if you're in a big city, if you're traveling somewhere, we got another one right here. We're on some fish, man. We've sat here and caught a bunch of fish. But like, I mean, if you go somewhere, hell, you get on an airplane, you don't know what the person behind you, I mean, you hope that they ain't made it through security with a weapon, but like, you don't know what the person behind you is thinking, what they're going to do. And if they did do something, you never see it coming. Like this mosquito, the mosquito unfortunately could see my hand coming. Because he was everywhere except where he needed to be to get swatted just then. Yeah, man, I don't understand people anymore. This world's gone to shit. I hope it's just kind of isolated to the big cities, and more rural areas I'm hoping are, of course, I mean, hell, when you see these, who the hell's hollering over there at that damn park? I wish they'd shut the hell up. That's annoying. See, I'm gotten all pissed off thinking about this girl, and now I'm going to take it out on some kid over here that's yelling at the park, acting a fool. I'm going to take it out on this bluegill, too, who's fighting like a Dickens. Oh, that's another shell cracker. That's another shell cracker right there, man. Oh, shell cracker. Hold on, I got to swat a mosquito before I can land him. Nice, buddy. Come on up here, shell cracker. All right. Let me get a hold of this thing. This is a good one right here, man. You talk about some weight on this thing for its size. This fish, though, he told me, he don't like hearing them kids yelling over at the park either. He wants them to shut up, too. He says first, though, before he can tell them to shut up, he's got to get this hook out of his mouth, and I'm struggling to remove it. There it is. Now we got it. Nice. You can see, though, there's the red on it right there. You know what? He'll make a good thumbnail. Will y'all bear with me for 1 second here? Here's what I want to do. Here's what I want to do. The sun, I want to get right here in the sun. I'm going to hold this fish up with my rod. That's going to be the thumbnail. Let me get hold of him real good here. Hold on. Come here, fish. I need to take a picture of you now. I want you to behave there. Behave there a second. I can't see the camera. I think I need to turn this way. There we go. That's better. Nice. You might see him in the thumbnail, or I may end up doing some other shot. I don't know. All right, we'll see you, buddy. Nice. I love getting them shell cracker. They fight hard. Even if you get one like that, same length as some of the other bluegill we've been getting. Like they pull hard. He left our worm on there too, so we'll just go over here and throw that worm out again. I got it wrapped around the line, or rod tip. There we go. Yeah, he was on this tree over here. There's another long tree that's come out, and you can see it's uprooted from the shoreline there and fell this way. I don't know how far it comes out, but I'm going to throw around it. I'll start out here kind of at the edge and work our way back. That was fun. I've had a good time out here today, despite me getting pissed off talking about this girl. I've had a real good time out here so far. I ain't gonna fish much longer though, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna go and get them shad, which I know some of you are saying, Justin, hell, you out here catching all these bluegill and shell cracker and stuff. Well, I've been doing good on the shad, so I want to get some more of them, but I want to go do that, and then I got to mow, and I got to figure out what I'm going to do for my property down there by the road that keeps getting all this erosion. because my county ain't worth a damn. I gotta figure out something. I think I'm gonna dig a trench from the road over to my fence. And I'm gonna put some blocks down. There's one. I'm gonna put some blocks down, and that way when the water runs off the road and down the hill, it hits them blocks and gets diverted into the trench I'm gonna dig and goes under the fence in the area where I want it to flow under. And hopefully I can control it that way. It's worth a shot, ain't it, Bluegill? He thinks so. He thinks it's a great idea. He don't understand why the county won't do nothing about it either. You can't get my county, man. You send them pictures, you email them. You can't get a response. You can't get them to do nothing. They ain't worth a damn. They like everybody else in this world. You can't get them to work. I had to pester them forever before they brought the rock the last time on the other side of the driveway. And then when they did come, they done a half-assed job. It's just, this whole world, man, I'm telling you, the whole world's going to crap, people. You got to always be watching your back. Can't get anybody to work. I can't get this bluegill to unhook himself. I mean, it's out of control these days, man. Absolutely out of control. What's it like in your world down there, bluegill? Hey, just bringing up what it was like that he's dealing with was so traumatic for him. He had to get out of here instantly. He couldn't even talk about it. That fish is going to need years of therapy. I'm just throwing right on top of this tree, though. I have no idea how far it comes out. Don't matter to me, though. There's probably fish all the way from the shoreline out through here. Well, my feet are itching something terrible, man. They are really itching, folks. Them mosquitoes have gotten me apparently way more times than I was aware of. I probably shouldn't have wore flip-flops out here today. I like flip-flop. I mean, I like being barefooted. I like kayak fishing in bare feet. And we're running out of days to do it, man. Here in September, like, boy, something's going busting shad over here by the shoreline. You see that? Boy, they're busting shad everywhere right down there. I hate to leave fish right here, but I want to go see what these are over here. We'll get down here and they won't be busting no more. Or they'll be busting up here behind us where we just came from. I see them. You see them shad right there? Yeah, they ain't busting down here now. Oh, crap. We may have wasted our time. We'll make a few casts here anyway. They might be still around. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of shad. You see all them right there under the water? That's what they're eating on. They had them up along the bank over there, though. There they are again. You can see them in the light right there, hopefully. I got a fish, too. I went to pick up on it, and he's on there. We hook into one of these bluegill, and we got bass around chasing them minnows, or them shad. They liable to come chase this bluegill. And bluegill's liable to get got himself. Come here, bluegill. This is another fat one right here. I'm gonna have to use the forceps on him. Another gift from one of my channel members. Another channel member named Daniel gave me these. I got 2 channel members named Daniel that have sent me stuff in recent months. One Daniel sent me the gulp worms that we're using today. And this Daniel sent me these forceps. He ate it kind of deep. There we go, we got it. Is he bleeding? I think you got lucky, bluegill. You had it in there kind of deep, but he didn't have it down in the gills. A 1/4 inch further though, and he was toast. All right, well, let's throw back over. He's been bluegill all up and down through here though, man. We've had a day for getting some quality fish. I don't know how many we've gotten now. I wasn't keeping track, but like we've gotten some good quality bluegill, shellcracker. Like I'm pleased with the fish we've gotten. I'd like to have gotten some bass. Well, we did get that one little tiny, super tiny largemouth, but I mean, I'd like to have gotten some bigger bass. I think probably whatever was busting them shad a minute ago was probably bass. I don't know if it was largemouth or white bass, but I don't think it was bluegill doing that. Although I just had a bluegill thump me right there. Wouldn't you just love to see a big bass come up and just inhale him right now? It happens pretty regularly on my ultralight trips that we do have bass chase the bluegill up. And it probably happens more often than we realize. Or maybe they follow them or get after them when you first hook them and we don't see it. I had a catfish trip the other day. Oh, there's another one. A catfish trip the other day, I had 2 different instances where a second fish followed up the fish that I was reeling in. And the water was clear enough, I could see the other fish with it. I guess it was trying to get the bait out of its mouth on the way up. You ever seen that happen before, bluegill? You ever had a bass get after you? He said it was awful when it happened. He almost died. He did. He said he was lucky to get away. It's a fish eat fish kind of world. Oh, I had another bite. You get our worm? No? I think I'm gonna put on a gulp worm again here in a second. I'll switch over again. I kind of want to go back down to that tree that we were on over there. I'd only come down here this quickly because I saw them fish chasing the shad, but as soon as we got down here, that stopped. I ain't seen them again. I think 1 or 2 more casts over here, and I'm gonna go back down to that other tree. We'll just fish our way down to here. What time is it anyway? I need to see. I don't know how long the camera was going before it crapped out the first time. I don't know why the hell that thing it just randomly cut off. I didn't touch it. I didn't touch the button. It's like ding, and I looked down. It's off. It's like one of y'all must have hit the button or something. It's weird. Technology does weird things. All right, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna back us up. I'm gonna ditch this worm I'm gonna put on the gulp worm. We're gonna go throw it that other tree and make our way down. A little bit further anyway. Okay. Yeah, these gulp worms here, they've got potential. Definitely got potential. The fellow that sent them to me said sometimes when they ain't hitting the gulp minnows that they'll eat these. And he said he uses the same jig heads and everything, just like a Ned rig, which is kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just threading that on, and it's basically you gotta, I don't know how long them things are, maybe 2 inches, 2.5. I don't know. Don't say, I don't think, on the Nightcrawler color, but 2 inches. 2 inches what it is. All right, well, let's see where we can find that tree again. It was just right down here. We're about to lose our shade. It's going to feel much hotter as the sun gets on up. Okay, right here's that tree. I'll make a few more casts with this thing. Yeah, these gulp worms, they've got potential. I'll use them. I'll work them into the repertoire. My channel members, I was talking about how I've turned the comments off because people are so nasty in the comment box. My channel members, on my channel members' videos, like, they can still comment. I like interacting with them because it's all positive. Many of you that used to comment, were positive people too, and a pleasure to interact with. But just in the general comment box, I'd have to sift through so much nonsense to read your comments. It just wasn't, no offense to you personally, it just wasn't worthwhile. I don't want to wade through a septic tank to interact with you. So I just turned that crap off. I ain't missed it one bit. But my channel members still have comments on their videos. So I can interact with them. And it's kind of nice because I know when I go to those comment boxes, it's worthwhile for me to do so. Like I'm not going to be just bombarded with negativity and stupid stuff, and not spending so much time. Oh, right here in front of us. Right here in front of us. Let's cast right here. Do you see them busting right there? I'm gonna just reel this worm. There they go now. They was chasing. Them shad was getting run right there in front of us, man. But yeah, having comments only for channel members, it's nice because I know what I'm getting when I go into that comment box. It's positive people that I want to interact with, and I can interact with them in a more timely manner and with more detail and stuff because I'm not having to read and reply to 1,000 comments this week. I'm going to get 10 comments. So it's much easier. I get maybe more. I don't know how many. I mean, I've got a bunch of channel members, but maybe 10 to 20 comment on my channel members' videos. So I mean, it's very manageable for me. It's way more enjoyable, and it's one of the better decisions I've made on my channel was turning off the comments. I should have done it years ago. I always kind of thought, like, if a person was taking time out of their day to watch my video and felt compelled to comment, that I should reply. And maybe that was dumb to think like that. Or maybe it's possible that it was the right way to think about it, but just the world changed. Culture's different now. Everything's just nasty and negative all the time. The world changed. I guess that's what it is. But I don't miss it. Not one bit. Only thing I miss is catching a fish on these casts that we make and don't catch anything. That's what I miss. I miss reeling in a fish. I want to do it every time. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna fish a little while longer here. Probably get some lunch on the way to the next stop. That way I can, Lord, I've cast into that tree. Dadgummit. We're in that tree deep, man. We're in it deep. We've wrapped it around that branch. I'm hoping I can break that branch off real easy. But I think I'll get some lunch on the way to the next stop. Eat on the way, that way I can be efficient. That way when I get done getting bait, getting shad at the next place, I'll be able to just go straight home and, well, I ain't going straight home. I got to get some gas for the mower, but you know what I mean? Like when I get home, I'll be able to just get right to mowing. Goodness gracious, look at this mess. Well, yeah, we was all up around that thing, wasn't we? All right, we got it out. Well, we've tied a knot in our line. I ain't fooling with it. We're just gonna roll with it. Y'all tied a knot around that damn tree branch right there. You cast right into that. I told you be careful. And you cast into that tree anyway and tied a knot around the branch. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Every time I take you fishing, this is what you do. I've never cast into a tree. 43 years on planet Earth, I've never one time cast it into a tree. But every time I take y'all out, that's all you do, is get mosquito bites and cast into trees. Boy, my feet, look at all them spots on there. Well, they've been tearing me up without me knowing it. The sacrifices you make just to go be barefooted. I did get me some more flip-flops the other day. I ordered them. Oh, I ordered some more just like what I had. I got these, I'll show you right here. I got them behind me. These Oakley flip-flops. I got them last year. Well, it was I think it's January. Whenever it was, I went to the beach last. I got caught out in that wind, and I was taking water over the front of this kayak, and it washed my other flip-flops out. Well, it washed one of them out. So anyway, I had to go into a store down there barefooted to buy me some more flip-flops while I was in Florida. And so I bought those. And they've lasted me all year. Like the bottom materials, I used to get them Old Navy ones, them flip-flops in the Old Navy, and they'd have the dollar sale. Oh my gosh, you cast into a tree again. Okay, there it went. It fell down. But I'd get the $1 flip-flop sale at Old Navy, and the foam on the footing of those, you wear them out in a month. Like you pay $1 for them, but you get about $1 worth of use out of them. Like they don't last. You wear the heels out of them. But these Oakley brand, they're a little bit more expensive. I had to pay $20 for them, but I've got a full year out of this pair. So I bought 2 more pair. Hopefully that'll get me through next couple years, I hope. Yeah, I went in there, that little sandal store at the beach, barefooted. Somewhere out there in the ocean, one of my flip-flops is still swimming. It's probably in the, oh, right here beside us, man. Something just come up right there. Something come up and hit them shad. You see them shad right there? Right there in the light? Something just come up and busted them. I'm gonna swim that worm right there on the surface. I'll make some more random casts out here and just swim this thing. These predator fish, whatever they are, bass, white bass, it don't matter. They're all doing the same thing. These schools of shad, they swim into the school, try to split them up. And then if some of them shad, if they break away from the bigger school, they get isolated, they become easier for the bigger predator fish to catch them. That's how they go track them down. So when we're swimming this thing away from these schools, it's kind of imitating a bait fish that's swimming away. Now, this worm here ain't really, it's not imitating in size or color of what's swimming away, but nevertheless, like if you get some predator fish that's chasing and we bring this thing right by them, maybe we trigger a reaction strike. It's possible. It's worth a shot, and we see them busting close by like that. I do think we're getting bit more frequently on the real worms versus the gulp. And the quality has definitely been better on the real worms versus the gulp today. Oh no. Yeah, we're not getting that one back, I bet. I don't think I can get over here to this one. Maybe I can. We're kind of, boy, there's something going on right here behind us too. We need to get this thing back quick, fast, and in a hurry if we can here. I'm gonna try to glide into it. I think we're too far up under here for me to really, yeah, I can't get it. I'm gonna have to break off, I guess. Tag gummit. Here it comes. Well, fiddlesticks. I broke off another one. Oh, they're going crazy right here beside us too. Shad are getting worked right there. I don't know what them are. There's some more over here behind us. There's several, there's different schools. 3 different schools right here working. I don't have a clue what any of them are. Dang, man. I didn't bring my, oftentimes I'll bring my skipjack rods. I didn't today because I wasn't planning on trying to get any skipjack down. I knew I was just gonna go get some shad for the catfish trip tomorrow, and I still got skipjack from yesterday left over too in my cooler, so I wasn't concerned about it. Oh, I gotta thread this thing through. Hold on, fish, I'm coming. There we go. Yeah. I just wasn't prepared today to see all these actively chasing fish, which I should have been, because hell, I was drifting down the river catfishing yesterday afternoon and seeing schools of white bass and skipjack going crazy out there. So I should have been more prepared, but I didn't bring it because I wasn't planning on keeping none. Let's trim this, and I think we're going to be ready to roll again. Now, of course, there ain't nothing going crazy. Let me put a real worm back on. Try to find a fatter one, although they ain't really none of them that's very fat. Definitely think these are the smallest worms I've ever gotten. I want to make a few. Y'all bear with me out here. Yeah, they're still right here. Look at this. Look at this right here. There's some fish around that school of shad. Let's ease over here and we'll throw this worm right there and let it maybe sink under those shad. I want to know what these are. Just gonna let that thing sink down. I mean, we're deep right here. This water's clear enough, like they're gonna see that thing swimming away when I'm done letting it sink down. Never fails. You get to where they're busting at, and then they ain't busting no more. That's how it always goes, man. Every time. There's literally nothing busting right now. These fish are busting my chops while they ain't busting. They gotta still be around though. I hear them going crazy behind me on down the shoreline. There's a big school of shad though right there, right up there on the surface. Thread fins. Not what I'm going to be after. I'm going after gizzards today when I go get us some catfish bait. Well, hell's bells. We're just wasting our time with it, I guess. So you keep an eye out. You see them busting again, we'll go try it another time. Let me get this gunk off of this worm here. Lots of stuff on the water. Another good thing about fishing with the gulp and fishing with worms like we're doing is when we cast out and let it sink down, we're not getting all this surface clutter on the line and the hook and stuff. If we were having to do a presentation today where we were actively swimming the bait all the time, we'd have a hard time with all this stuff on the water. Leaves and pieces of grass and moss and algae and stuff. There they are again. Right there beside us, they come up. They're around. We've got a school, I'm under this school right here of shad. The glare and stuff, I don't know if you can see them or not. Doesn't appear to be anything around this school right now though. But yeah, they'll swim into a school like this. There's safety in numbers, as the saying goes. It's hard for a predator fish to pick off any one of those when they're all together. It's hard to key in on one fish, but if they'll swim into them and break that school up and maybe 2 or 3 of them fish go off on their own, well, now they're much easier to pick off than a big school of them like that. There's a fish. First one in a little while here. I was getting impatient again. I want to get whatever's busting them shad though. I want to get one of them, just see what they are, see if they're largemouth or, they're not skipjack. We would have seen them come out of the water. So they got to be some kind of bass. Bluegill, I'm gonna need to get my life jacket here again. You have gotten that thing a little bit too deep. You're another one there. I think if you took it down just a little bit further, you'd have been in big trouble, sir. Oh, look, right here beside us. It's almost like they just come up once. Like, is it a school of fish chasing these shad, or is it just an individual? Because that was literally one splash that come up right there behind us. So I was unhooking the bluegill. You see this a lot though in the fall, these big schools of threadfin. They'll be out in the main channel all over. All the reservoirs around here will be like this. Over here while we wait on them. Lord, I seen 2 mosquitoes fly away from my feet when I turned like that, them damn things. When I sat down tonight on the couch and I'm just getting comfortable, you know, I'm not paying attention to anything, my feet are going to be itching like crazy. Right now we're distracted, we're doing something. But later on tonight, especially when I lay down to go to sleep, I'm going to be scratching them things nonstop. Them fish are on down the shoreline now. They're busting them shad right up against the bank on down. They're just sporadic down through here. Something got after them right here too. Every time one of them shad schools splash, I'm like a dog when it sees a squirrel. I'm like, squirrel, squirrel. I got a dang mosquito up near my ear now too. I've enjoyed today, but I ain't enjoyed the mosquitoes, man. They're relentless. That's why I couldn't be a hunter. I've never been into hunting. I fish all the way through hunting season, but I can't imagine being a hunter out in the woods, being up in a tree stand, needing to be all still and quiet and having mosquitoes buzzing around you. I'd be swatting them the whole time. I've gotten snagged over here again. I'll tell you what, folks, we've gotten into some snags down through here. It helps if a fish will bite before we can get into the snag. That's the key to not getting snagged, is to catch a fish before you get into the tree. There it comes. I've seen some more busting right down here. They're just periodical coming up. It don't seem like it's a big school. When I'm seeing them, it's kind of just a few splashes. Makes me wonder if maybe it ain't largemouth. They seem more likely to be traveling in little small packs versus white bass, which are oftentimes these, you know, big mega schools, massive schools. Either way, I don't think we're going to catch any of them to find out. I don't think it's going to matter for us. But we've still got them. We've got a bunch of bluegill today. We've got some nice shellcracker. Got that green sunfish. Bluegill, shellcracker, green sunfish, red-breasted sunfish, and we had that little tiny largemouth. That's technically 5 species. Although to me, bluegill, shellcracker, red-breasted sunfish, they're all kind of just bluegill to me. So I guess you could go like 2 species, but however you want to classify it. Either way, we've caught a bunch of them out here in the short time that we've been on the water. We've caught them on both the real worms and the fake worms. I do think the real worms have caught the better quality and the most, but I've probably thrown the real worm more time too than the fake ones. So either way, it's been productive. It's been enjoyable. I love doing this, man. It's anytime I'm in the mood to just go catch a bunch of fish, that's what I do. Grab the ultralight. You know, I like fishing out of this kayak, and today's a perfect day with no wind. It's just, man, it's ideal. Ideal situation. There's one. Bluegill. I wonder who this bluegill's favorite wrestler is. He won't tell me. He said he doesn't watch wrestling. He said only nerds watch wrestling. That's probably true. But I am a bit of a nerd. I don't deny it. Nerds run the world, people. I guess we don't know that. We don't really know who runs the world. Somebody is. Probably ain't the people we think that does, though. I'm gonna try to throw this one. I'm gonna risk getting broken off, but I'm gonna try to throw up over there under them trees. Nothing. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try and try again. I can hear everything they're saying over there at the park. I guess the way them talking this way with that rock wall up there in front of us, I think it just sends it right down to us. They probably hear our whole conversation too. Oh, we got all kinds of stuff on our worm here. Let's switch that out. We'll get the gulp worm again. They pack a bunch of these gulp worms in there. I don't know how many this thing has, but it seems like that jar is pretty packed full. Well, it's in my other kayak today. I've got a pea cup, a urine specimen cup that I put my gulp minnows in. And they come in these little jars too, same size jars, gulp minnows, but I'll put 2 of these jars in one of those pea cups. And that's what I store them in, because those little jars right there, they leak something terrible. Like now that we've opened that thing and broke the seal, you try putting that back in your tackle box or tackle bag, whatever, you're going to regret it, because it's going to leak all over everything. But urine specimen cups, I mean, you obviously don't want to spill those in the healthcare setting, so they're way better and they're cheap. You can get them on eBay or Amazon, wherever. Or if you know a nurse or somebody that works in a clinic or hospital, they can pick you up one for free. A little 5-finger discount. Hospital ain't gonna miss the pea cup. Lord knows they're gonna bill you for enough to pay for them pea cups anyway if you ever go to the hospital. Oh, now that was a skipjack right there. Did you see it come completely out of the water? That was a skip. The camera was pointed right at it, so y'all may have seen that one. That was definitely a skipjack. I'll make a few casts right there since we saw him, see if he'll eat a worm. So we swim it near the surface. I've had skipjack eat worms before. Real ones, anyway. I gotta fix that squeak though. You hear that? It'll drive me nuts. Something needs some WD-40. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna make a few more casts around here, people, and I think I'm gonna get on out of here and go get them shad and get some lunch and get some gas for the lawnmower and get started on my afternoon chores. It's probably about 1 o'clock now anyway, I'd say. It gets dark earlier and earlier now. Ain't got as much daylight this time of year. It's almost kind of sad, you know, you get June and July, hell, it's daylight till, there's one. Well, I think that's a skip. It is skipjack. Let's see if we can get some jumps out of him. Oh, here we go. Come on up and give us some jumps, Skippy. He's staying down. He's making his runs. You're lucky, Skip. I'm gonna let you go too. I ain't even trying to keep you. I ain't got a cooler to keep you. He's staying down. Most time he's skipjack come up jumping. There he goes. Oh, and he just spit it when he jumped too. Well, there you go, folks. The gulp worm caught a skipjack. That's probably what we've seen here sporadically. I didn't think they were skipjack at first because I wasn't seeing the whole fish. What is that? Something's flying around over there. I hear it. Like a damn jet plane or something. But yeah, when you see white bass and largemouth busting shad, like they'll hit the surface. You'll see the splash, but you don't usually see the fish. Skipjack, they'll oftentimes come up under these shad and end up completely out of the water, whole body out of the water and come down. So when you're seeing that, like it's obvious what they are. But I'd seen that one skip come out of the water there a minute ago, and there's probably some around, but I don't know if all these fish out here that we've been seeing, the splashes, I don't know if those are all skipjack or if they are, could be white bass, could be large, it could be anything. It could be a combination of all three, truth be told. But nevertheless, I think that's a good way to wrap it up there, folks. We'll end it on that. I'm gonna get out of here, go get my shad, lunch, yard mowed, chores, et cetera, et cetera. And then tomorrow we'll get back after the catfish again. So anyway, thanks for coming with me. I'll see you in the next one.